All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all if and the praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Hakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles and elder bishops, across the forerunners of the earth that push and teaching this truth and our sincerity and righteousness, as well as you brothers, you Akim, that also push and teaching this truth. And shalom to the Akwafi on your very few sisters, so it being in order and keeping the faith of the last days to do y'all need to be doing. And shalom to the Lord's elect and 144,000 and one third. Shalom to y'all as we call ourselves the hopeful elect. All right, coming back to you through the spirit power, Yahweh Shemad with Shab, another lesson in exaltation. And as you see the title, in the spirit, this is something this is something I'm just rolling in the spirit with. I just want to get up and just do a lesson, man. And Lord willing, maybe edifying. I'm just going in through the spirit, just bringing out whatever, is upon my spirit. All right. Now, what really I want to bring out first is, man, and this right here. I'm actually turn my camera on and let you see it. This just a little short clip. So here you go, real quick. Mm-hmm. All right. I just want to bring up that video only because, man, we know that this that the mark of the beast will be able to allow the average human, so to speak, to be able to basically do anything that they're pleased that they please with. They paralyzed feet. They that mark. What I'm saying, which is the RFID chip. The microchip. That chip is supposed to, you know, what that chip's supposed to do is basically allow you to do all that you could ever do. What I'm saying, that you didn't do before. As a, like, mobility, Salaki, mobility, movement wise. Instead of me trying to say that word, but but yeah, man, like as you saw in the video, girl was paralyzed. What I'm saying, couldn't walk. But then she put on a whole suit, which is not the was not the chip, but just a reference or just a comparison. As what's his name? Um, RFK, yeah, RFK Junior. He came out with the people. I believe I got a video on that as well. I ain't, I don't believe I did a video on that. When they talking about doing making wearables for for the U.S. citizens. Your they want U.S. citizens to wear a wearable. Right, here we go. Right here, he came out with this June the 25th, and I didn't report on it honestly because there's so much going on and shit like that, man. You know, um, but here you go with an article off of Anti Headlines. RFK Jr. wants wearable health tracking devices for all Americans within the next 4 years. And it's saying it's a health tracking, but yet it is based a data tracking. What I'm saying, wearable that they can track anything that you do. They can track your movement. They can track your blood. This and that, the third. They can track anything that is in your body. What I'm saying, biometric wise. right? They, with just that wearable, right? Which ultimately is the chill that they want people to actually receive. You know, this is something that going to the wonders, the signs and the wonders that this devil is going to do. Okay, something that something that he been planning on for many years now. You know what I'm saying? Since the start of his rulership, he been planning on, you know, when or how can he, you know what I'm saying, ultimately accomplish human. That I'm giving you just saying the basics. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it straight up. You know, I don't have no $1 million words or anything for you to catch your eye to or whatever. I'm just giving it to you straight up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm trying my best to explain the best way I can. These devils are going to they are going to make a wearable as RFK JFK or whatever the fuck the bitch boy name RFK, right? RFK ultimately he coming out saying that, oh, this is vision that he wants all Americans, you know what I'm saying, to receive a wearable only so we can track your health. No. This is him reading the script off of what the fuck the elites are giving him to read, saying this is what the elites are going to do, right? In the latter half of this year, or you know what I'm saying, in the midst of 4 years, they will, you know what I'm saying, well, they're doing it right now as they making it to where, oh, they're showing you it's all good for the benefits and the, you know what I'm saying, for the health, you know what I'm saying, you know what sickness, you know what I'm saying, what sickness you got, you know what I'm saying, before you even receive it, this and that, the third, you know, this is the peace and safety. This is the fuck. How I say it, how I say it. Um it's like they being that hero, right? They seeing all the world's problem, they seeing the people's problem, right? The things that they even caused, but yet it's that order out of chaos, order out chaos, man. You know, order out chaos. They're making an order just out of the chaos that's going on for the people in the midst of the people. The themselves watching crashing, and they now they want to be that great heroes after they being the ones that actually causing the crash of the economy. They coming with a solution for you, you know, so that you can look at them and be like, oh, you're our hero. You have been good all along. But yet, most Americans don't know that and Americans are waking up to that fact. But it's another thing that these Americans are waking up to this double and his shenanigans. But he also barely aware of the shit that they also planning to do, which is to try to win their trust back just by deceiving their ass again. These devils are just keep themselves in rule, just to keep themselves in power. They're persecute and oppress the people, right? To the point where the people are begging for a solution. They begging for help and this and that the third, and they come around. You know what I'm saying, with their other side, the right side. You know, with the solution for the people, this and that the third, and be like, oh, here's the solution. Here you go. We done fix it. We found the We found it. We fix you. Here you go. And ultimately, in this case, is them bringing out the MLCB, which everybody, so you know what I'm saying, most people, most the American people, so to speak, are hearing about that mark of the beast. They know about it. They speaking about it nowadays. It's a common conversation about the mark of the beast. It's a common conversation. I literally had a whole conversation with a couple of Jakes, couple of old friends, you know what I'm saying, back in the world, whatever. I had a conversation with them, and man, they even know about it. One of them even know about it without me really even saying anything about it. I ain't told them, you know, or at least I don't believe I did, honestly. But 9 times out of 10, I damn sure didn't. You know, 'cause I did try to tell him the truth one point in time, but you know, of course, Jake didn't really hearken. But you know, there's another time where we had a conversation and Jake actually mentioned the market the beast and be like, "Oh, yeah, I know about it." You know, see, Jake's actually see the mark of the beast. They just choose not to. They see it. They may believe it, but they don't believe in the actual doctrine that ties to the mark of the beast or the mark of the beast that ties to the doctrine that's stemming from that actually you know what I'm saying, that the truth, you know what I'm saying, ultimately. All right. Upon all that, the wicked being revealed, you know, as they continue to still try to deceive the people and push their agenda, you know, more people waking up, they deceiving more, you know, as more starting to speak against the the Jays over there in the land, more starting to speak out, and you know what I'm saying, the left, they starting to, you know what I'm saying, crack down on most of that problems, man. Okay. As prophecy continue to be fulfilled, you know what I'm saying, this devil is he's hurrying his agenda, you know. He making more moves into pushing forth his agenda. You know what I'm saying, making sure that he get everything right, you know what I'm saying, do what he do, but he also trying to hurry up, you know what I'm saying, get it going before the people rebel and come up against him, which is not going to happen anyway once you bring out this MOTB. Once you be like, oh, you got to take this chip, you know what I'm saying, in order for you to buy and sell, for you to survive, for you to even pay your bills and shit like that, for you even just fucking live in this house, you're gonna have to take this chip. In order for you to take your kids somewhere or whatever, and you need gas in your car, you're gonna have to take that chip in order to pay for gas. You need that chip. They need to scan your hand. They need to. That's the kind of payment that they only need for you. You know what I'm saying? For you to take the for you to do the transaction, for you to even buy food for your kids so they can eat. You're gonna have to take that chip and you're gonna have to scan your fucking hand right at the payment little thing, right? Swipe your hand and boom, you pay for your groceries, you pay for your everything. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and eat this garbage still. It's still garbage at the end of the fucking day. Cause at that time, that's when they want to start making more processed food, mock food, right? Look that up. Matter of fact, let me look that up myself, right? Mock food, man. They're trying to say it's plant based, but it's really not. It is fake meat, man. Fake meat, you know? Yeah, I read this real quick. Modern Salakia. Modern mock foods are often highly processed. Why? Oh goodness, boy. Why they are, while they aim to mimic the taste and texture of meat, They often involve complex processing and a variety of ingredients to achieve the desired results. Why the hell does meat need, what I'm saying, more ingredients in order to make it what it is? Why? If it's coming straight from an animal, it ought to be just what it is, right? Just pure organic meat coming straight from an animal. No, but these devils are actually, what I'm saying, genetically making that shit. You know, the top rich guys and the rich tech guys, um, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and all them. You know, Bill Gates and them, right? Bill Gates, he planning on uh putting uh how you say it? M to the R to the N to the A strands inside or juices inside animals to try to get them more of a what the fuck he said. Oh, how they trying to say it is to give it more of its quality, so to speak. You know, which in reality they're adding fucking, you know what I'm saying, little I say little nanobots or whatever the fuck the case may be, right? To add extra shit inside of it. So when you may consume it, they may have something inside of you where, you know what I'm saying, you may grow sick, you know what I'm saying, may you know what I'm saying, ultimately may die, you know? Or they have some shit inside you and they might try to track you there and have a little time. These devils are fucking crafty as shit, right? These devils are crafty, man. Real crafty. All right. Oh shit, so lucky. So in these times, man, you know, we gonna need a Lord. We gonna definitely need a Lord in these times, man. You know, cause ultimately we doing the works. You know what I'm saying? We in the spirit. The Lord is, you know what I'm saying, got the spirit upon us to see these things. You know, and to warn the people. You know, and ultimately to get right with the Lord again, man. You know that we may be protected from these from the wicked shit that this devil is doing. Psalms 46 in verse 1, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy. You know, any times it's going to get scary. It's going to get scary as hell. You know, because ultimately, us coming into the truth, we learning to be more manlier. You know, to be more like men, right? And ultimately be men in the Lord, right? To get out of that dead childlike mindset that we used to be in the world. You know, we're praying to the Lord to keep us guided, keep us, you know what I'm saying, in the spirit, and you know what I'm saying, ultimately allow us to be to be built in the spirit to dwell, slack it to get my words messed up. Praying to the Lord that we may be built for the times to come, right? To withstand the evils and the judgments that's going to be placed upon this place, man. You know, coming from Esau, Edom, you know, when he do these deportations, all right, and then he coming in with the sword, you know, so ultimately on Jade, you know, first and foremost, he been doing it upon the Northern Kingdom, right, upon Issachar and upon Gad, you know, in the foreign nations or the foreign tribes, you know, with Brazil and all of them, you know, Puerto Rico and all of them, Ultimately, all the same thing that is going on over there with, you know what I'm saying, the protests and the riots, all this shit gonna start happening to Jake. You know, it all gonna be the so-called Black Lives Matter protests and the riots and shit like that all over again, man. You know, and matter of fact, just to harken on that real quick, going back to what Jake had did when um he had ran over that cop, you know what I'm saying, for killing his son. Listen, with that case going on, it just been, let me see if I can find the video. Cause with that case, I feel like through the spirit, I'm looking at that situation, you know what I'm saying, as a possible, I mean a possible a situation that can possibly grow more to what it is now. It's a big case, but it's gonna become something like, well, what can I compare it to? Really, I can say that it can grow, and this not, and I'm gonna say it going, I'm gonna say this now. It's not part of the doctrine, but yet it's still a situation that it could be, you know, it could be prophecy still. At the end of the day, it's still prophecy. Cause these are things that we're still going through today. Race wars, you know what I'm saying, racism, right? With Jake being oppressed. This is a situation that can possibly grow over to being one of the fanners that fans the the war the race wars that is you know, say the country, the race wars, the civil war, and all. It could be many wars in this country, man. It could be many wars in this country going on. It could be literally like the purge, you know. It could be literally like the purge. Fucking chicks are off. Ugh, excuse me. Let me see if I can find the video. Vesalaki, give me one moment. All right, so lucky for that. All right, let me find this video. Mm, well, I'll come back and play that video though. Come on, man. What the fuck? What that video, man? I had to save it. If I can find it, then oh well. No, I can't find it. I know you're about to try my. Mm, Man, I'm about to waste my time trying to look for it. Fuck it. It is what it is. But it's many other things that's going on, man. You know, that's just not the top thing that's going on. You know, many Jakes are getting it. Shit, this lynching is still going on to this day. It's still lynching is going on to this day, man. All right. But anyway, go back to the scripture. Psalm 64, verse 2 now. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. And that's what these devils constantly be doing. They constantly be having council meetings and thinking of ways how to, destroy Jake, how to keep Jake, saying, uh, in denial of the truth, right? These devils constantly having meetings to try to, what's the best way to keep Jake testosterone levels down? What's the best way to keep Jake brain pineal gland closed? You know what I'm saying? What's the best way to keep Jake from healing from cancer or whatever? These examples that these devils do. They do research on Jake and they constantly thinking of ways of how to keep us at a very, very low state, to keep us at a bottom level, to keep us at a level that we ain't shit, that all the other nations would look at us like we ain't shit. But truly, um, matter of fact, I get it. I ain't got that in a while, right? Psalms 82 and 6, I have said, ye are gods, lowercase g, of course, right? Ye are gods, and plus, you know what I'm saying, you got to know this, and all of you who the elect are children of the Most High Yahweh, right? Who are children of Yahweh, of the Most High Yahweh, yeah, right? Just like his son Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying, who ultimately being the one having to sacrifice himself on the cross for our sins and for our rebellions and you know what I'm saying our iniquities. Him being that scapegoat, you know what I'm saying, being that passageway for us to get back right with the Heavenly Father, right? Even with him, right, the Son, which is the name Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, even he said that we are gods. Did he not? John chapter 10, verse 34, straight to the point. Yahweh Shai answered them, is it not written? Where is written at? Psalms 82, right? Psalms 82, verse 6. Is it not written in your law? I have said, it's like I said, ye are gods, lowercase g, right? Where we could be, especially in these times soon to come, you know what I'm saying, was ultimately we be of that number, our bodies will be changed when Yahweh Shah comes back. Our bodies could be changed, you know what I'm saying, we won't sin no more, right? We could be invincible. We could be like the you know what I'm saying, the Marvel, the superheroes, you know what I'm saying, Superman, you know, you could be Thanos. We could be more than that, man. We could be more than that. Okay? We could become literal gods on earth, you know, underneath, of course, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. We could be many gods. We could be, I remember the elder Kazaki Allah, you know what I'm saying, one video he did, about the new bodies, right? Us being God. In his words, We could be many most highs. You know, we could be many most highs. We could be just like our power, but yet just saying, just below him. Of course, as he is above, he is above all. You know, above all gods that are no gods. He is the only, but he is the only true living power. Right? He is the only true living power. And really soon, all will know that power, man. Okay. Let me jump down. I'm gonna jump down verse 6 in Psalm 64 still. Verse 6, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. You know, they constantly thinking upon more ways to how to get Jake under their rule. And ultimately their so-called biggest plan in keeping Jake in an oppressed state is ultimately giving them this chip, making them take this chip. You know, that's why they coming with this new world agenda, this new world order, right? That's why they always go by the motto, order out chaos, order out of chaos, right? They're gonna establish order out of the chaos they cause. That's something big, and they're gonna turn it into a technocracy, right? A technocracy, a rulership where it is going to be ruled by technology, man. Which we basically in that time now. They already have established and produced a system to where your data is in one big old computer system. The way they can look at everything in one big screen. You know, and then if you take this mark, and ultimately you take this mark, and ultimately you going out about your day and this and that the third, you're gonna have to abide by their rules. You're gonna have to you're under their system. Once you take that's basically that what it is. You take that chip, you under their rule. Salaki. Right? You take that chip, you're abiding under their, you know what I'm saying, you doing what they do, you doing what they tell you to do. You're their slave and they're your master. They taking it back to where they're gonna brand your ass like cattle, you know. And really, the Tower of Babel, the time where Antiochus Epiphanes had all the Jews in the land to abide under his rulership, to abide under his order. Which if you don't, how it went, this is lucky. Excuse me. I just had listened to the video earlier. I listened to a little bit of it. Basically, if you don't take this brand, or you don't uh serve us as your, basically, if you don't serve us as your God, what I'm saying, you're gonna die. You know, and a lot of our fathers and our mothers back then, what I'm saying, end up being put to death anyway. You know what I'm saying, because they stood for the laws. They stood, what I'm saying, for the customs, for our customs. And the ones that sold out, they ate the pork, you know, because back then that's how you show your solitude, what I'm saying, to that king, to that emperor at that time, right? That's how you show your loyalty. That's how they did it at that time. Now they do it in a way where, matter of fact, let me get that account actually. First Maccabees. Let me see. Right. Straight to the point. First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41. Yeah, straight to the point. Verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, that new world order, everybody coming together under one religion, one one religion, just like what it is, you know. You coming down to one religion, just one community, so to speak, just one world where everybody is under one system. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone shall leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king, right? Everybody, even his own people, right? But who else? Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. Our own people, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called native Indians, you know, at that time, that's when they sold off and became uncircumcised. You know, they did away with our customs, man. They fell off, you know what I'm saying, more and more and more as that at that time period continued to as at that time they became again, no $1 million words. Fucking just at that time, as that time progressed, our people starting to fall away more and more and more and more. All right. And again, this is around the time when, you know what I'm saying, the whole talk or the whole Gentile situation, man, that this is way before the New Testament. This is where the New Testament starting to grow, you know what I'm saying? Well, not grow, but this is when this is where you starting to get more understanding of why the New Testament was written. All right, this is where you get your Gentiles from, man. This is exactly where you get your Gentiles from this period of time where our people was led away straight from the truth, from who we truly was before, and we currently trying to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Get back to who we are. You know, rehearsing the righteous acts. Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they shall follow the strange laws of the land. You know, they 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 follow the strange laws of the land, like the scripture saying, man. You know, they profane the Sabbath, they sacrifice unto idols, you know, and they just didn't care for the Lord anymore. You know, at the time continue to progress, they less and less and less kept the law, statutes, commandments. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they shall profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts, eating pork, eating fucking pork, you know, eating fucking pork. They even defiled the temple, man, the holy place where the you know what I'm saying, where the name of the Lord had dwelt, right? Where the glory of the Lord had dwelt, man. that they should also leave their children uncircumcised. They didn't even circumcise their children on the 8th day no more, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profane, profanation. Salaki, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. Those that actually stood for the truth, stood for the law, they died. Those that didn't stood for the law, those that forbid the law, they live. Why? Because they show loyalty to the king and not to the Lord. They worship men instead of the Most High. Okay? Now, real quick, let me find this one video I wanted to play right here.
That all your computer screens are blue lit. The reason none of them are red lit, the reason none of them pay attention to circadian biology is because that original technology was developed in a government program that Bobby Kennedy knows about, and I happen to know about because I went to medical school at LSU. For those of you who've never heard about Operation Paperclip, you think it's all conspiracy theory. So at Tulane Neurology and Tulane Neurosurgery in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, the CIA started a program there where they would do all these crazy things to monkeys. The CIA wanted to see how they can control things.
Yeah, they started doing a bunch of experiments to animals first to see how that chip would do. I remember that. They started doing a whole bunch of experiments. They had a monkey at one time. Saying they played that little game with with the two blocks, with one block on one side, the other block on the other, and they got a ball going side to side, and to get points, you're gonna have to allow the ball to hit the block or the wall or the thing, whatever the fuck the shit was. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep it from going past your little block. You know, so it's like it's like ping pong or whatever. You know, if you brothers know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Utilizing different things like drugs and things like that. But the neurosurgeons got involved, which is my clade. We would drill tops of the heads off, put wires into the thalamus, put electricity in there, and kind of see what kind of behavioral changes we could have. One of the guys that was in that program was a guy named Professor Delgado. When he saw that we could control the behavior with the wired device, he said, what if we do it wirelessly? So he checked it in monkeys and checked it in bulls, and it turned out you can do it wirelessly with RFID chips and semiconductors.
Mm-hmm.
Then the CIA took it to the next level. They said, well, since this is electromagnetic radiation, what if we did it through light through screens? And it turns out you can. And that's the reason why all your computer screens have the frequencies they have. So why is this all important? Well, the person that set this meeting up between me and Bobby is the patent attorney that made sure that Google and Meta have those things so they can control the things that we all do. Where did the original idea come from that started off in MK Ultra with the CIA? You're going to be surprised when you hear this. It came from the mafia in Las Vegas. They wanted to build a new city in a desert. They enclosed it all, blacked out the windows, invented slot machines that were blue lit. And they found out that they didn't have to take a gun and stick it in your face to steal your money. Then they even got smart. They said, let's give people free alcohol while they're doing that. And they found out they got the money quicker. And that's when the CIA got the idea to start this program. That's really how it started.
You see, these devils are crafty as fuck, man. They come up with so many ways to keep you under control, right? Uh, Another scripture, Psalms 83, starting at verse 1. Keep Salaki, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou, Salak. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, Thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Here's the point. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, right? Constantly, you know what I'm saying? Again, going back to what we said earlier, they constantly thinking of ways to keep Jake under control. And just from the video you see, they be doing studies, man, they accomplish a diligent search. They accomplished that to this day. They seen that it worked and they did it. Hence us using the phone. I'm using two phones right now, one to record and one to read the scriptures. You know, and ultimately I'll use both anyway. All right, so you see these devils, they know a few things, man. Right? They wiser than Daniel, right? Uh, verse 4, they have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent; they are confederate against thee." And they done that, man. You know, and of course it had to happen through that way for us to be punished. You know, and the Lord had to punish us through just by that, just by these devils taking away our heritage and hiding the fact that we are the true people of the nation of it, the true people of the Lord, right? The true nation of Israel, the true Israelites, the true Jews, right? We are the people. We are the people. We are the chosen people, man. All right, the so-called Negroes, again, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the true people that the Bible speaks of with that has went through the curses, right? Still going through the curses, still to this day. We still going through the curses to this day, man, and we still fighting to stay in the spirit. You know, the Lord woke us up around at the Lord woke us up, man. It's like I'm trying to get my words together, man, but still trying to talk fast. They just for so long, just over 500 years, they held us in a um deep darkness, deep dark state of not really knowing who we truly are. You know, and through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shemel Shai rested upon our business to bring out the truth and to bring the remembrance of who we really is. You know, the great awakening has begun, and it's still going to this day. We still got Israelites waking up every single day to this truth and hearkening to the videos, asking questions. You know what I'm saying, to get the understanding of the word of the gospel, receiving the living waters. Okay, so we are at the time where this devil is going to be brought down. We're at the time where this devil is being exposed. Okay, I need to get that real quick. And I might end on that. Whatever else may be brought out through the spirit. Right. Second Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that men of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. That falling away was during the time of 70 AD, when we, saying during the fall of Jerusalem, right? And the son of perdition, that's Esau, man. That's the so-called white man, the self-proclaimed white man. You know what I'm saying? That's in the rulership today. The wicked, the damn devil. All right. verse 4, who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he is so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. He has a God complex. This man really think that he's in control of every fucking thing. The so-called white man really believes that he has control over the whole earth. He got everything in his fucking in the hands of his own possession. Like he has. This man really think he's God. He really think he's God, but he's not. This man truly thinks that there's not. He knows it. He knows it, but he acts like he doesn't know it. That there's not a greater power above him. You know, he doesn't acknowledge that at all. He doesn't give a fuck, right? You remember what Trump had said? I am the chosen one, right? I am the chosen one. Looking up to the sky, hands out like he was giving so-called glory. This man is the fucking devil. I know you heard about him with the deportation and them in that cargo plane, and he dumping the so-called migrants' bodies that still shackled, their hands and their feet are still shackled together, and they bringing them upon a cargo plane, and then whatever the fuck they doing to them in that damn cargo plane, while that shit is in the air, they throwing their bodies out of the fucking plane and landing in some other island. And they did a report on it. Matter of fact, cool. Let me play that one. Let me play that video right here.
I want to be very clear that I have no reason to directly connect these two stories. These are two unrelated stories. The reason I'm sharing this, however, is because we are living in a time when we cannot afford to be naive. We are living in a time when we need to pay attention. And changes have been made to our government that cause it to not be doing its job. Firing of inspectors general. Purging the highest ranks of our military officers. Preventing members of Congress from performing their oversight duties. So what you have here is you have one story that migrants in the United States have been routinely shackled at the waist, wrists, ankles, and loaded onto cargo planes. Not just cargo planes, but cargo planes with the rear doors that can open mid-flight. Completely separate story. 5
It's a lot.
corpses with their hands and feet bound have been found floating in the sea off the coast of Majorca. And since January, 31 bodies have been recovered there. Again, no reason to have these two stories direct.
But yeah, you see it, so lucky. But yeah, you see, man. It's a lot of shady shit going on. You know what I'm saying, with this devil. There's a lot of shady shit that's going on with this devil, and there's a lot of shit he's trying to hide, and a lot of shit he don't want the people that start asking questions. Man, the only thing left to be said in these times for the people that listen to the videos, you know what I'm saying, hearkening to the lessons and all that, it is, man, if you don't, especially with the times and the events and and yet the very future hell that we finna come into, man. If you don't have Yahweh Shimmy Shot on your side, you know, and ultimately you don't have your trust and your faith right in him, you will not be able to be sane in these times. You will not be able to be sane. you would be left out here just completely helpless. Just based off what the apostles and the others have been bringing out these past these past years of them coming out into the highways and hedges and you know to just diligently and if just tirelessly. Well, they've been tired, of course. There's been times where they've been tired, of course, but just without non-stop, just constant work and work and work and work and work, and it's still working to this day. They still on the highways and hedges still to this day. The spirit has been upon these men since them coming into the truth, them open the spirit open their eyes to all the lies and deceits that have been amongst that school, you know, ultimately shifting them out and now them branching GMS and the affiliates. Man, this we are in the times where the Lord has said this is not for you to know. But yet you will see signs and wonders, right? You will begin to see signs. And we see the signs now. We see the signs now. There's no we coming into a point in this truth where we may comfortably say that man, we are here. We are here. That we comfortable and faithfully saying that the Lord be with us through these times now, for this is the time that you have said that you will bring hell upon this place, that you will start to make your coming known upon your men, right, upon your people, so that they be made ready. Okay, we definitely are here, man. You know, Salaki. You see, get another scripture. Mm, let's see. Rejoice evermore. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 6. And I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of the all of mighty thunder, Salakia, saying, Hallelujah, for the Lord Yahweh omnipotent reigneth. Right, here's the point. Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready. You know, and knowing that the Lord have likened Israel unto a comely woman, right? Has likened Israel to a woman that he has married to. We are married to the Lord, man. You know, though many times he has put us away due to our wickedness, we have to get right, and we have to get ourselves right, man. Because we went off against the Lord, and this is that time that we've been gracefully and mercifully given to get ourselves right and to show ourselves worthy, that we be made, that we be um that we may be, damn, I can't get the words out, that we may be joined back with the Lord again, man. Right? That we may be together again with our husband, man, with our Lord, with our King. All right. That's a lucky. Uh, mm, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it, man. I ain't wanted this to go on so long, but it did, and it is what it is. You know, Lord willing, it was still edifying to those who hearken, man. But we definitely in these times, man, we getting ourselves ready. You know, and we hope that the Lord may protect us in these times to come. You know, and ultimately we you know what I'm saying, the prophets that went over the scriptures and the breakdowns. You know what I'm saying, as more people coming into the fold and starting to wake up, man. You know, we just hope that they continue to do right and get themselves right, man. And that really goes for all of us. Still, gotta constantly be ready. All right, but anyways, Lord Winley was edified through the spirit of power Yahweh Shemal Shah. Until the next time, I say Shalom, and I blah blah blah. Until the next Shalom. All right, you.